I'm Odessa Stardust and I love makeup. I've been asked a lot by people who I know in person and online how I do my typical like costume or Lolita makeup. So today I just wanted to do a tutorial on that because I've never done one before and it sounded fun because I really love makeup. So let's get started. So I'm using my phone, which I can see myself here. So if I'm looking here, that's why. And I have a mirror right here. So if I'm looking over here, that's why. Anyway, all right, first steps for me are always contacts. These are my mini Soleras. My everyday, I usually wear brown circle lenses. But recently I've been really into these. I like to put contact solution on it and then I'll just pop them in. And just like that, I have my Soleras in. They're kind of creepy, but they also give the big, like, cartoon looking eyes, so you know, you can use whatever contacts you want. Not technically part of the makeup, but for me, it's a necessity. This is all that I use for primer. It's the Mario Badescu facial spray. I just buy a big one of whatever smell I like at the time and use it until I'm out. For me, this just helps re-moisturize my skin before applying foundation. I just like to lightly tap it in instead of rubbing it or anything, because I don't really want to mess with the texture on my face. And then I just let it dry. And then when it's dry, that's when I apply the foundation. All right, now that we're all dry, you can kind of see I'm a bit moist, which is exactly how I want to be before applying my foundation. Currently, I have been using up this L'Oreal Paris Infallible. As someone who grew up in the 2000s, I am so thankful that like drugstore makeup finally does pale shades, let alone non-drugstore makeup. But I just remember around like 2015 when like everyone got really into makeup, I finally was seeing really pale shades and like the big expensive brands like MAC. And then drugstores makeup also got better, and finally there's a shade match for me outside of spending like $40. So anyway, this has been an absolute godsend. You know how like you learn something at one point, like someone shows you some type of tip and it lives with you for the rest of your life, even though it probably doesn't really make that big of a difference? For me, this woman at Sephora told me how you should put your makeup on your hand in order for the foundation to like warm up to body temperature, and apparently that makes a difference for how it applies to the face. I doubt it makes a big difference, but I was taught that in like, I don't know, my sophomore year of high school back in like 2012, and I have done that literally ever since. Also, if you hear tip taps, that is my dog. Yeah, there she is. They're gonna probably run in and out of this video. Yeah, I'm almost out. But I'll be damned if I buy a new bottle before I'm fully out. Okay, and per standard, I'm using a beauty blender. And I just tap in and beat the fuck out of my face, starting from my under chin and neck. I have PCOS, so I have to like shave my little mini beard, and it leaves a lot of texture and discoloration down here, so I just always start at my neck because I gotta. Again, my biggest advice is just do not rub it in, tap. I would consider this foundation light to medium coverage. I used to have a lot more textured and like acne prone skin when I was younger, so I was all about the full coverage shit, like MAC. But my skin has definitely calmed down a lot over the years. And so for me, medium coverage is great because it doesn't feel like I'm wearing an absolute mask all day, which is nice. And then around my nose and mouth, I switch to the pointy side. And I just kind of work my way, especially my piercings, I kind of push them up and get under them. Like so. And this is so I can get into the crevice of my nose really good too. This is where I tend to have a lot of flaky skin. So most of the time I just kind of pray. As you can see today, I have a little bit of texture on there. But you know what? Texture is pretty normal. Unless you're right up into my face, you aren't really going to notice it that much. And then I tend to go back to the big side to kind of blend up my nose. And I tap a lot lighter because I'm not wanting to push it down into like the pores to show more texture. So I just lightly go up. I want to be sure to get into this little area between my eyes. And then whatever's left over goes on my forehead. You don't really see my forehead most of the time because I have bangs, all my wigs had bangs, but I just be sure to get above my eyebrows here. And then again, if I have leftover, I just use it. Usually going back down my neck, or I'll go along my forehead if it's not already covered. Once I'm done, I just use a tissue. And then I use the same tissue throughout because I'll also be wiping off pigments from my brushes and stuff on here. Because your girl doesn't necessarily wash her brushes every single time she does her makeup. That would be too much for me. Okay, as you can see, like I have acne here, you can still see the reddish and discoloration through my skin. I personally don't mind not having the full coverage, but literally just use whatever foundation makes you feel best. For me, I don't mind that you can see through. So this works great for me, and it's a wonderful color match. For those curious, the shade is apparently 390. Now we're gonna go in with the concealer, same thing, the Infallible by L'Oreal Paris. This shade is in 320 Porcelain, which is the lightest shade available. Same thing, this is the lightest shade available. All right, I just put like a dot. And then I do a little on my chin. And then I use a smaller sponge for the concealer. That was a little too much on my chin. That's okay, we'll just blend it out. And I just do that because I like it being highlighted right here. And tapping. My eyes are getting a little irritated, one because I'm wearing contacts, but two, my blue eyes are extremely sensitive to light and I am surrounded by ring lights and floodlights, so we're just gonna ignore that. My blue-eyed people will understand. Okay, for the first time in all of my makeup history since like 2009, I think I started doing makeup, 8th grade. Anyway, I've started using powder. Technically, I've tried to use powder before, but it's just always made my face so much more textured, and I just don't like how it makes my foundation look. Normally, I just set this foundation as it is with setting spray, and I'm very happy with the results. It looks like my skin, but now that I get a little more wrinkles around my eyes, the powder really helps. So I just use it for my under eye and on my eyelid. Forgot to show off exactly what powder that is. This is the e.l.f. HD powder. I was recommended the like Halo one or whatever, but it's too dark for me. I do have it. My wife uses it. It's a great powder, but again, it's like has a beige color instead of like pure white like this one. And it literally darkens my concealer because it is too dark for my skin tone. All right, I just tap in with this really fluffy Morphe brush here. And I just tap under my eyes. I also tap the eyelid. And there we go, I'm powdered. Next are my eyebrows. I will put an example of the very 2015 eyebrows I used to always do. But now I just use eyebrow gel because I'm pretty happy with the shape of my eyebrows now. I used to shave most of them off and color them in, also very 2015, 2016. But now I have lusciously grown them out. I call them luscious as they're like very sparse and thin. But anyway, so I just use this because I have blonde hair, so random hairs in there are like bleach blonde, and the other bits are a little darker. So this helps even it out all to one color. This is the Tinted Brow Gel by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it's in chocolate. If I'm truly doing cosplay makeup, sometimes I'll change my eyebrow shape for the character, so I will draw them in a different way. But right now we're just doing my typical neutral cosplay slash my Lolita makeup. So if I am doing Lolita or just dressing up cutesy for the day, this is my go-to look. And those are done. I don't have perfectly shaped eyebrows, but they're good enough to me, so I just gel them. A lot easier than drawing them in and sculpting them with concealer every day. Nothing wrong with that. Genuinely, I think it's still a pretty good look if you don't do them absurdly thick like I used to do. But too much effort for me these days. I like a gentler look. Moving on to eyeshadow primer here. Oh, upside down. There we go. I only use primer if I'm going to be going out for several hours. If I'm only going out for like an hour or two, I just skip this step because my eyeshadow stays long enough. But yeah, if I'm doing like an all-day thing, primer's coming out. So this is Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, the original. I just started using this recently. I had this other one by Too Faced that I had for an embarrassing amount of years, but I do not waste my shit. So if I buy something, I'm dedicated to that product until it's out. It has to be such shit for me not to use it and decide to actually throw it away. And even then it takes me months to convince myself to let it go. So anyway, I finally ran out of it and I've been using this one and I like it so much more. All right, I just kind of rub it all over and then I'm gonna slowly tap it in afterwards. Just like that. And again, tap. This one will affect the texture of my base if I do not slowly tap. You cannot rub it or anything, I think, because it's an oil-based product, but somehow I get them to work together. And even if it disrupts it like a little bit, usually the eyeshadow covers it enough where it's not an issue. There we go, it is on. We're on to the eyeshadow step now. This is my go-to palette. It's called Natural Love. It's by Too Faced. This is an old-ass palette. I bought it when it came out. It used to be this beautiful little flocking right here. It's gotten dirty over the years, but it's still pretty adorable, honestly, considering everything it's been through with me. This is possibly like the second or third large eyeshadow palette I ever bought with my adult money back in college, so she's special to me. She is a huge thing of nudes and pinks, which if you're not doing any special colors, this is perfect. I do love a pop of color in my everyday makeup, but when it comes to my cutesy makeup, I keep it extremely neutral. First things first, I get rid of the most recent color deposit onto my tissue here. Or I just do it on my bare thigh if I'm not going to be wearing shorts or anything. There we go, clean brush, do both sides. This is your Eco Tools. I don't know, you just get it at Ulta. I've been using this exact brush and I've just bought new versions like for as long as I can remember using eyeshadow brushes and not those little sponges. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's great. It's fluffy. I got this to pack down the sparklies and stuff. I keep my shit very basic. All right, we're gonna go in with Honey Butter as a transitional shade. And with the lightest hand, I am just sweeping back and forth on the upper part of my lid. Once I like that, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the same color. And instead of going along the bottom right here, see whenever I squint this line here, we're gonna accentuate that. So I'm going under my lower crease instead of above it. Starting from the corner here and working its way in. Okay. Next, I'm going to go in with a nudie. And I'm mostly focusing this on the outer V of my eye. So just outside in the corners here. And I'm going to bring it a little bit in on my eyelid too. Just lightly building up the color. Well, more like lack of color. More like lightly building up the contour. Same thing, I'm kind of bringing it under the eye a little bit by little bit, but not very much. All right, you can see kind of hard with the lighting, honestly. It's like blowing me out. But we have a little bit of this soft orange going above my eye here, and then we're focusing this slightly darker grayish shade or neutral brown around the outer V. It's okay if it looks a little messy under here. We're going to be cleaning it up later anyway. Next, I'm going to go in with Pink Cheeks. Now I'm going to use the more dense side of this brush. And I'm just going to swipe it along my eyelid. It has a slight shimmer to it. You can't really tell in the video, but we're going to be adding glitter later, so that is okay. It's just a great base in the meantime. I also like to go in with my fingers here and blend it in again. That's just nice to do with shimmers. You can see it left a little bit of texture this time when I used the primer. Probably by the time with eyelashes and eyeliner you won't be able to notice that much, but I am a perfectionist, so it bothers me a little bit, but not enough to do anything about it. Next up is my highlighter shades. Gonna grab this brush here. It actually came from Lunar Beauty Life is a Drag palette. I just love this thing for shimmer shades, so that's what I always use for my inner corner. I'm gonna grab my Ofra highlighter. She has been used and abused, baby. Look at that thing. This is in Glazed Donut. So I just dip into here, and then I'm going to highlight all the way up to here. And really this is just to highlight this corner. Then I take my pinky, same thing, gonna go in that corner to make it pop. There we go. And that is it for that for now. We will be using more highlight later. All right, glitter step. Here I have my Skila. Ooh, you know what I meant. And this is in Perlina. So I pop it off here. I don't actually directly put it on my eye. I use a little brush like this and dab it onto here. And I focus it on the eye corner there. And then I work my way up. I just tap upwards to kind of create a soft gradient. As you can see, that gave me that popped corner that people really like. And same thing for this side. Sometimes I have to re-dip to get more pigment on there, but typically one dip is enough. Also, I go through this product slowly because of this, which is great. There we go, glitter. Alrighty. And sometimes I like to take a little more and kind of put it right here in the center of my lid as well. Like that. It's very subtle, but I like it. Oh, a lot more came off on that side. Well, time to make it even. Is what it is. There we go. Glitter makes everything look prettier. Don't you agree? It is time for blush. I actually bought the shade recently and I love it. It's kind of like a bubblegum pink. It looks very bright, but I really like it. This is by Urban Decay. This is called Wholehearted. My cutesy blush brush. I love this thing. I use the rest for arts and crafts, so this is the only one that actually stayed a makeup brush. Okay. I'm gonna focus it up here, like really near the eye. Basically, top half of my face. And I apply brush according to like what type of makeup I'm doing. Everyday makeup, I tend to go all over the cheek, but here, we're really trying to get under the eye here. I just think it's cuter. You can see, look at that pretty pink. I like it so much. Same thing on this side. And you know, then I just kind of spread it down. I mean, it's a lot of blush. I am a girl who doesn't see too much blush as an issue, so this is what we do. Okay, once the cheeks are done, I do the tip of my nose and kind of blend it upwards, like that. Okay, we're done with blush. This is most of our powders. I like to set after I do all my powders, but we're not quite there. So we're gonna add our highlight now. Highlight brush. And I just lightly brush my cheekbones, not a lot. I like to put a bit above my lip too. Speaking of, oh, and then my nose tip, and then I dip, and I like to dot right here, kind of blend it in with my finger. And then I'll do that. Anyway, speaking of, I also like to use my blush as part of my lip contouring. So I'll go ahead and grab my eyeshadow brush again, make sure it's clean, and I'm gonna dip back in here. I don't really do a particular shape, I just focus it above and under my lip. Right in the center. And then I go under right here with a very light hand. Sure, it looks kind of crazy, but when I put my lips normal, it just kind of creates a nice like pink shadow. Yeah. Last powder before our first setting spray. I grab this guy to do my waterline because I'm blonde, so all my eyelashes are very light, which means when I put on eyeliner, my waterline is really obvious. So I'm just dipping into stiletto here. I use any black or dark brown eyeshadow. Literally no preference. You can already see a difference. So this is with it. This is without it. It's almost like little eyeliner. There we go. Okay. And once again, I only do this if I'm going to be out all day. I'm actually not today, but this is my example video. So I use Urban Decay. Wow, I use a lot more Urban Decay than I realized. Anyway, Urban Decay All Nighter, your classic recommended setting spray. My all-time favorite setting spray is actually by Anastasia. I don't even think... Yeah, I'm completely out right now, but it has like a glittery bottle. I'll put a picture on the screen if I can find it. Oh, it smells so heavenly. It feels so good, but I ran out, so I'm using my wife's. This is her preferred. But I do like this one. All right. I do a bunch of short burst sprays instead of big ones from relatively far, and then I just fan it dry. And there. That way when I'm drawing on my eyeliner, I do not disrupt the base. At least I try. In my opinion, eyeliner and lash placement is the thing that causes the biggest difference in your makeup. All of this eyeshadow and base, basic as fuck. I usually do it every day. But how I draw this liner and how I place those false lashes completely affect my eyes. Well, and contacts, of course. Okay, I use Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. This is the micro tip one. God, I think I first bought the Stila one maybe my senior year of high school in like 2014. I've been using it a long ass time. And it's reliable, so I'm gonna keep using it. I build my way up like this, and then drop like that. And that creates this kind of droopy eye effect that I really like when I'm doing cutesy makeup. I'm gonna drag that out. And I drag it pretty far. There's the first one. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, once my outline looks relatively even, I'll fill it in. Okay, let's see that from a distance. This is how it's looking. See, I went up, drag down, up, drag down, and from far away, this is what we're looking like. Now that I'm happy with my eyeliner, next up is mascara. I actually just bought this mascara. I haven't bought mascara, I think, ever. Ulta usually has some type of promo every once in a while where when you have enough points you get like a freebie. I've always chosen mascara. I have no preference. I wear falsies anyway. They don't really make a difference on my eyes. And then my grandma also really loves makeup. So whenever she gets like freebie, she usually gives me her freebie mascara because she knows I don't really buy mascara. But I borrowed this one from my friend and I actually liked it as a preference. So I bought it. It's L'Oreal Paris. It's telescopic mascara. It's really goopy. I like having gooped up. It's the best way to say it. I like having gooped up mascara. I like to lay it on thick. So again, I'm going to be wearing falsies, but we need to darken up my lashes because they're very light. So they'll show up in front of the falsies if I don't darken them. And there we go. Again, you can't even really see them. Mine are very straight, I guess. So you can't really see them unless it's like from the side or my eyes are really wide open. Anyway, that's why the falsies are important. Otherwise my eyeliner would be too thick to see. Now, on to lashes. My current favorite pair of lashes are these ones that I mixed 2 different types of lashes with. So they look dirty, that's what they look like. Anyway, they look like this. So I have like these really small spiky lashes and then these thicker ones on the outside. Actually, I might be able to find a pair of the regular ones so I can kind of show you what the shape was when I mixed them together. Okay, correct. So they are a mixture of these spiky ones here. And then I mixed them with these because they're kind of short. They're too short for my eye. So I just put them on the outer edge of them. And they make a really cute couple, I must say. So funny enough, I brought out this tops one first, but I actually like to start with the bottom lash. I'm gonna use these ones today. I've run out most of them. These are my favorite bottom lashes. I have several styles. These are one of my favorites. So anyway, we're gonna use this pair here. I buy my lashes off of like AliExpress, so I would link them, but honestly, the listings change all the time, so I just go by looks. Literally buy lashes wherever you want. If they look like the same shape, they're the same thing. It doesn't really matter the brand or the type. I like to use Duo eyelash glue. It's just industry standard, baby. The shit works good. Alrighty, so we're gonna take our eyelash here and apply some glue. Alright, I'm gonna focus on that lower bit right there. And this just needs to connect to my eyeliner. So I just grab with both of these little nails and put them on accordingly. And then as they're drying, I just like to tap them down to make sure every bit of the band is making contact with my skin while the glue dries. And I like to flatten them out like this so you can actually see them, because sometimes when they're straight on, it just looks like a line. And there we go, first lash done. Also, depending on the eye shape you want to do, sometimes I bring this like way down and I bring this way up, kind of like in a gyaru shape. But today we're just going for that round look. Bam! 2 bottom lashes on, just like that. Sorry, I'm the tip tap queen. I'm all about tapping everything, apparently. Okay, time to move on to the top lashes. There we go. Got a lash on. she's cute. Other side. Okay, pretty much dried. And there we go. Like I said, eyelashes and contacts and eyeliner affects the shape of the eye the most. My eyes look so much bigger. They look cutesy. We love lashes and eyeliner and contacts so much. We're on to the final steps. Last thing I do, my lips. Okay, we're gonna do the... Okay, we're gonna do the classic gradient lip. So for the center of my lip, I'm gonna go in with this guy, which is Darling Kiss by CoverGirl. Could barely tell. After that's applied, I'm gonna go in with a lighter pink. This is also by L'Oreal Paris, except I think this is from high school, so probably not in rotation anymore. But anyway, this is 169. Nice. Pink Plush. And it's the perfect pale pink for me. And then if I like to be a little more like extra or in depth, I'll get a little bit of a random red. This one's also L'Oreal Paris. I like my drugstore brands. This is Persistent Plum. Oh, also says infallible. I don't know how old this one is, I'll be honest. Probably, I don't buy lipstick very often. This also could be from my high school years, or it could be from my college years. See, it just creates a little more depth. Pouty. And then sometimes, as like extra contour, I will go into my corners and make them like smaller, specifically on my top lip. I'll just show you. Gonna grab my usual concealer brush. It's just a flat one, I don't know. I'm gonna go in here, tap, tap. And kind of create this like pouty shape, I guess. And it just makes my lips even more pouty, because I like it. And then at the end, I wipe off makeup off of my lovely fangs here. Nice and shiny. Final spray down, same thing as before. I like to move my face around while it's setting so like it doesn't set to a perfectly stiff face, because then it might cause cracking. So I just, you know. And like that, we are done. But let's add more accessories, because that's necessary. Here we are with my natural hair. Looks okay. I have very alternative hair naturally, so whenever I go cutesy, I wear a wig. So we're gonna put a wig on. Wig cap time. She's beauty, she's grace, she's bold. All right, we have my go-to wig here. We'll brush her when she's on. This wig has quite literally been through hell with me, and I love her so much. I will need to probably replace her very soon. But it's hard, okay? I have an emotional attachment. We've been through a lot together, including some like trauma. So we're trauma bonded. Okay, typically I look a little flat without anything on top. So we're gonna dip into hair accessories. I did just buy this headband. I haven't worn it yet. I don't know if it'll like really match the vibe of what I'm wearing, but let's try it on. It might be too pink. Oh, it's pretty fucking cute though. I mean, no complaints from me. That's adorable. Has these little resin hearts on it. Okay, we're gonna call that good. This little thing made it pretty easy for me. Usually I'll do like a hairstyle or some hair clips or something, but this is pretty cute on its own, so I'm pretty happy with this. Let's go ahead and get some little close-up glam looks at my beautiful skin texture so you can see realistically how this makeup looks on the skin. And that is it today for my makeup tutorial. I hope it helped someone out there, or if it was at least like a little bit entertaining. I'm gonna go ahead and take some pictures so I can post it to my Instagram, which if you want to follow is same name as my channel here. It's Odessa_Stardust. Feel free to follow it. Feel free to not. I'm probably going to post on there whenever I post videos, which is not super often, as this is just a casual hobby for me. So again, feel free to follow it or feel free to not. It's not really a big deal. I also want to say thank you so much for all the love that I got on my 3DS video. It took me a really long time to build up the guts to finally even like post a video, even though I find it like pretty fun to make them. I have been wanting to make a video. Oh my gosh, I have been considering YouTube probably since I started watching YouTube as a kid. So it's kind of a big deal that I finally built up the courage to post. The fact that I got so much love on my first video means literally so much to me. I didn't expect it to go anywhere. I just kind of assumed it would like wash away in the YouTube algorithm. So I just really appreciate it, and I hope that you like this video just as much. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye!